Hello, I am Dan Stapleton, and this is John Ryan.
Hello there.
At the controls of, not Last of Us, this is Infamous.
No, that's
Light.
not the game at all. This is Infamous First Light.
Yes, it is a standalone expansion, which I just reviewed. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of more of the same of what we liked about Second Son.
Yeah, I think as far as a foray onto the next gen consoles, I mean, it's very much so. Very enjoyable experience, and it's only $15.
Yeah, and we're playing it on PS4 here because that's the only platform on which it exists.
It's nowhere else.
Yeah, and it's it focuses on Fetch, who is this character we're playing as here.
Hello.
It's the only one you get to play as, which is both a blessing and a curse for this game, because it's cool because Fetch I think is a much better character than Delsin. Is it Delsin or Deslin?
It's Delsin.
Delsin, right? Yeah.
I don't know why it's Delsin, but it's Delsin.
But I like her much better than him. I think she's a much more interesting character.
Yeah, definitely more developed as far as her motivations and the reasoning behind her whole hero's quest.
Yep, and she's out to save her brother from drug dealers, which is part of why she has this big grudge against drug dealers in Second Son.
Also, drugs are bad.
Yeah, that too. What we just saw there was you taking advantage of one of the few notable new powers that she has.
Yep.
Which is these swirly dealies here.
Well, you could see it in Second Son when you get the neon ability. You could run at the speed of light like we are here. But these clouds of neon gas actually allow you to run almost twice as fast as you normally would, and it also increases your jump and your thrust through the air. So if I just to jump into the air like so, I could dash and it would just kind of kick out after a few seconds. But with these handy-dandy whirlamagigs,
go way further.
And I can practically fly.
Yeah, it actually like when you're not using it, all of a sudden it feels super slow.
Yeah, very much so.
But I like it a lot because it makes super running around the city like feel a lot faster.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot more interesting because you've got these little objectives to shoot for along the way.
Well,
whereas if you don't have it, you're just running from point A to point B and it feels boring.
Right, and I think the speed factor is also helped by the fact that you are only given half of the city to run around in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great, as we said in our review of Second Son, the city itself looks absolutely beautiful. But it's also, you feel like you're going a lot faster because there is less ground to cover, I feel.
Yeah, but so that the curse of it only being playable as Fetch is that you only get the neon power set, right?
Correct.
In the first game, or in Second Son itself, you get access to this plus 2 other different power abilities, or power sets. Oh, 3 others?
Yeah, you get smoke, neon, video, and concrete.
Concrete. Yeah, I forgot about that one because you only get that in the very end.
You get it when you beat the game.
Right. Yeah, I blanked on that one.
It happens.
But
that's why I do wikis.
Yeah, that's why I've got you here, John. Yeah, so you only get 1 power in this, so it's much more monotonous.
It is, but I mean, I think there's a great deal of variation as far as the power, because this does not feel like the neon that I experienced in Second Son.
Really, for me, it was pretty similar.
Really, because for example, this ability to slow down time and hit weak spots, this was a specific button-activated power that you had to use with Delsin. With Fetch, however, it's just automatic.
Right.
And this is also another cool ability that they give you here, is the ability to enslave other enemies. So if I shoot this guy in his weak point in the leg there, now come on, there it is. He'll turn green, and I knocked him off the building. Whoops. Well, anyways, you can see there's another bad guy down here. They'll start fighting for me, which I thought was a really cool added bonus power.
Yeah, but I mean, most of the new powers, I had to go back and check to see, was this actually in Second Son? Because most of them,
a lot of them are
just kind of samey and variations.
Yep.
On the existing power. So I didn't really change how I played. Yeah.
No.
Didn't change how I played for the most part, so it did feel like revisiting a lot of that. And again, I like it, but it's kind of more of the same of what I liked.
Yeah.
So I the value of that was a little bit questionable. Fortunately, it's not a super long game. It only took me 4 hours to play through all the story content.
Yep.
Which is a good chunk. I do wish the battles were kind of larger scale like they are in Second Son.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more claustrophobic, and I think that's partially because since you only do have the 1 power to work with, they give you less of a varied enemy presence.
Yep. Which is disappointing because my favorite part of Second Son is those big battles where you're taking down the DUP command trucks.
Yeah.
Because you can come at those from any direction and, you know, back off and try something different if the first attack didn't work, that kind of thing. And there's still a little bit of that. Like, there are some trucks you have to attack that are moving targets, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, but as far as the big like DUP battles, you really only get 1 or 2 throughout the course of the story.
Right, and they're not as big. Like, they don't feel as large scale as like the fights for those big towers.
Yeah, no, you're very rarely tasked with taking down more than 4 or 5 enemies at a time, unless of course you're doing the new arena challenge modes.
You're really good at that. Plink, plink, plink.
Thank you.
Although it didn't work in that case.
It didn't. I actually didn't shoot them as well as I could have. But one of the cool new upgrades to this is, if you can see, I've got a focus meter that as I slow time, it decreases. But if I shoot these guys in their weak points, it will fill up by like 50% each time that I score that hit.
So you can keep that going almost perpetually.
Exactly.
Which is neat. I mean,
and they put a series
overpowered.
They put a series of challenges into the game. So instead of it just being, run around and shoot these guys, it's like really try and hone your skills with all the different abilities. So for example, like there's one that's get 50 weak point takedowns, which is what that is, and do that like 5 or 10 times within 1 focus meter. It's tough. It's very difficult. I've gotten up to 7, but I haven't hit that 10 spot yet.
But one of the other things I really like about this game, again, is like Fetch is a much better character than she's a much better character than he is, and part of that is due to the story, which is brief but pretty good.
It's very enjoyable. I actually liked it more than most of Second Son's story.
Yep, and it's kind of smaller scale and more personal. It kind of has to be because it can't be this like world-threatening story or city-threatening story because it's a prequel, and it kind of leads up to how Fetch ends up where you find her. Although I did find at the end of this she seemed a lot more sane than she was when you first
she
encountered her.
definitely is not as Fetch-y as she was in Second Son.
Yeah, she's a little crazy when you first meet her.
Yeah, it makes sense for the narrative. I suppose that I would like to see like the bridge between the end of this game and like literally the moment that you walk up to Delsin in Second Son.
I mean, you almost have. Well, you don't have like after she gets freed from the truck and is running amok.
Spoilers for those of you who haven't played Infamous Second Son, but
you should not play this. You should not play this before you play Second Son.
Right, you should have played it by now.
Right, but we should switch over to kind of one of the other appealing parts of this DLC.
Yeah, the other big.
Sorry, I just called it DLC. It's not DLC.
It's not. It is a standalone experience.
Right.
But the other big part of this, Dan, is that you've got. Where can I go to? There it is. We can switch to any of these survival or battle arenas, which are part of the story that you'll find out. Come on now.
No.
If you do it right, if you're not terrible like I am.
There you go.
Ooh, what are we going to wear?
You'll have all these options.
I know, you have so many options, all 2 of them. It's amazing.
But so this is a challenge arena, or a battle arena, as they're calling it here, where they basically just throw a bunch of waves at you. There's another variation on it where you're rescuing hostages. Which kind of the same thing.
But it's all scored and arcadey based. Like you get different trophies for making different ranks of it.
And there's some things I like about this style of combat and some that I don't.
Yeah.
One, I like that the stakes are higher because in regular combat in open world, because you're a super speedster. Anytime you get in trouble, like your health is low and the screen starts flashing, you just run away. You're like, bye, see ya. I'm gonna go heal. And so I didn't die the entire campaign.
No, but I've died a lot here.
Right. Inevitably you're gonna die because it keeps going until you die. But the thing is, like this is a pretty big arena, but as it fills up more and more with bad guys, there's nowhere left to run.
No, absolutely not.
They will kill you eventually.
Once you get up into the 400, 500,000 range, it's absolutely insane. It's you, and then there's maybe 1 or 2 other regular type soldiers, I'll say, but then everybody else is either one of the heavy machine gunners or they called them the bishops, so the other guys who were like well trained in the use of their concrete powers from the Second Son. It's absolutely insane. I'm probably gonna get killed here actually. No wait, no we're not, because we're gonna use super moves.
Yeah, that's a get out of jail free card there.
Yeah, I like that they didn't make it so. I mean, it's overpowered, but it's not so accessible.
Yeah, and you have to charge it up by hitting people. They got rid of the karma system here because it didn't really make sense for Fetch to have that in the same way that you do in Second Son. So it's all just like kill a bunch of guys and charge up your meter, which is good.
Oh no, spiders!
But But yeah, this style of combat I like a lot. I think, and the fact that it's got the leaderboards, we can pair it with your friends. John, you're currently kicking the crap out of me, by the way.
I'm sorry. What can I say? I mean, I have been playing this for like the entire weekend.
But yeah, it's it's a good way to get to really feel like you get some value out of getting good at this kind of combat, because you don't get that in the open world, because like again you can run away and come back consequence free. There's no score tracking or anything. This really lets you feel like a badass for getting good at these powers.
Yeah, and that really is the best reward system that you can find in this kind of content, where it's just you'll play the story and you'll be like, all right, that was pretty fun. But then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I'm gonna kick the crap out of every single one of these enemy types that I run into, and there'll be all of them. Whoop! Oh god, so many bad guys, and they'll all be worthwhile endeavors, I feel.
So I'm giving this game a 7.5, which I think it's a very good game. It's not great because it does lack that variety that Second Son has.
Yep.
But I do like what I played. I would play this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Solidly worth the $15.
Yeah. So you should also check out on IGN. I've got a full proper review on there. You should check out if you want a brief view. We know you guys. Some people like this style of review. Some people like others. We're trying both this time. See how that goes. And so yeah, let us know if you like it. And yeah, for everything on Second Son and Infamous in general, keep it with IGN.